service of Harvest Radio.
It's time now for the Town Talker with Reverend Zechariah A. Jackson. Reverend Jackson is founding pastor of the Church of What's Happening Now, located in Plainfield, New Jersey. And now, the Town Talker, Reverend Zechariah Jackson.
You know, it's so wonderful coming to you. It's good coming to you, actually. I'm the Reverend Zechariah A. Jackson from the Church of What's Happening Now. And I'll tell you, I had a wonderful week. I was at the Democratic Convention. I keep calling it the Obama Convention, you know. So much attention went out there and everything. And thank God to the pilots that helped the Reverend get out there, you know, the donation of the airplanes and things and the many landings that we did. I landed in Salt Lake City, and I tell you, but like they carved that airport out of a mountain. And we just were flying all over, you know. We finally made it to Denver, and it was awesome to really be there and to watch that, you know, to watch what should take place. I believe in November. I really believe that this here is no accident. I think that God has really got His hand in on this, and of course, I sneak peeked at the Republican convention this week. Of course I did. You know, I'm not a Republican, but I looked at the convention, and all thumbs up to the woman that's running for the vice president that John McCain chose, and I have nothing against either or she or he, but it's just that I tell you, Obama and what was his name? Biden? Biden. Sorry, I said Biden. Forgive me. And Biden. I have to say this to America. You know, a Biden mother said that if you want to walk down the street, son, the kids was bothering them. She said, if you want to walk down the street, son, you're gonna have to. If you bloody their nose, son, you don't have to worry. You can always walk down the street. And I kind of, you know, when he said that, I thought of my own mama, you know, that would say some words like that. Son, eat these beans and get big and strong, and then them boys that bother you today won't bother you tomorrow, son. And I remember I was a little boy, I would eat them beans like they were nuclear energy, and I would just profile the boys that one day I was going to take down. And you know, that's why when LL Cool J, I think he said the song that Mama said, knock him out. And that's real, you know. Mama isn't as gentle as we make her. So when Biden said that right there, I tell you, I really felt it. But I tell you, to be there, you know, at the convention, and I tell you, it was awesome. I interviewed some kids, 4, 5, 6, 7 years old in one family, and they were voting for Obama, and you know, yeah, I said, wow, you know, you gonna vote? Yeah, we're voting for Obama because, you know, he's gonna put the economy back together, and you know, and I mean, little kids, you know, and if you guys have a chance to go on Sunday to listen to harvestradio.net or harvestglobalnetwork.com, I believe it is, .com is Global Network, at 6 o'clock, and you're here. I'm yielding my sermon to the Democratic Convention. I want you to feel what I felt when the fireworks took off and the rockets, and I was just right at, you know, down in the 50-yard line and just taking the mic, going from person to person and everything. I even bumped into an old girlfriend from 1994. You know, there go Linda walking there. Oh, what you doing out here? You know, and you know, we hugged each other, but then she was gone. I guess she left as she came. You know, it was all, you know, it was just a good moment to reminisce with just that moment. It was beautiful to be there, you know, and I'll tell you, I kind of wish that the rest of you could have really felt what I felt, because I know what you felt at home, because I was getting text messages, phone was ringing off the hook. But if you can surrender Sunday night at 6 o'clock and listen to Harvest Radio 1070 AM or harvestradio.net or Harvest Global Network, .com, I believe it is. If you could just, listen to Sunday night, and you could really feel that, and although it's been a week, you still would feel the essence of what happened, when the cameras went off for you guys,
Right.
So when the cameras went off for you guys, I was in the field working, you know what I mean? I also interviewed Reverend Herbert Daughtry, Reverend Daughtry from New York, and an NACP brother, Kofi Konfumi, the longtime brother retired. Interviewed him also, and I mean, just the common people that I was interviewing. I mean, that thing was off the hook. After it was over, I was tired. I was jet lagged from many different states that we land in. Pilot said he didn't get his fuel money. We had to argue. I mean, that was a rough ride. I can only say this right here: if you're going out there, make sure that you fly commercial and you already paid for the ticket. 'Cause borrowing a plane and getting people, to lend you things, and it's not always the thing to do. But we made it, and I was able to get at least an hour and a half of audio. So you'll hear at least an hour Sunday night, and then of course as the year move on, we'll play the rest. But I tell you, it was so good. But today I have two guests. One is with the AME Church, Miss Clark, and I want you to introduce yourself. She's a dancer, right? Now.
Yes, my name is Cynthia McLeod, and today I'm representing the National Liturgical Dance Network, and it's just an honor to be here. I am also part of Cathedral International under Bishop Hilliard.
Okay, Cathedral. Yes. I've journeyed over there and everything many times. Well, I'm gonna let you guys talk. I'm gonna start with you, Miss Clark, and I'm sorry for calling you so late last night. I know you would knock me upside my head. But the Reverend was, when I checked my messages and I said, well, I said, wow, I know I had some calls to make, and I'm so sorry for calling you last night. Go ahead.
Well, I'm glad to be here again. I had the opportunity to meet Reverend Jackson right before he was on his way to Denver. So the excitement and the enthusiasm that he has from that trip, we are still feeling it here. So God bless you that you were right there in the house.
Well, you see, I had the shirt on with the whole family. You know what I mean? Got the whole family here, the whole Obama family right here,
Right.
and everything. And so, can you tell the listening audience about, introduce yourself, or did you do that already?
That's the Godwin Clark. I'm the Executive Director of St. James Social Service Corporation, which is the social outreach component of St. James AME Church in Newark, New Jersey, where Reverend Watley is our pastor.
Yes, we all know and love Reverend Watley, the many jobs and many works that he's done in the state to help us move to the next level. So we salute him. So what would you like us to know about your programs and the help, the outreach that you guys do?
Well, we were honored to have an extensive conversation with you last week to talk about what we do.
We aired it Sunday.
And we appreciate that.
Yes.
Basically, we are the social outreach component of St. James AME Church, and our role is to minister to the people in the community, to provide services that are needed, which include we have feeding programs, we have workforce literacy programs, we do utility assistance, we do clothing, we do whatever people need when they come to us and they're in need of a service. We try to respond to the community.
And you guys have been responding, and is there many success stories?
Oh, the real success stories are when we have the opportunity to not only provide people with physical and nutritional nourishment, but it's a place where we can provide spiritual nourishment as well. And when you see people who were homeless, and we introduce them to the church, it's just really a blessing to know that we've not only made a difference in their life to help them physically and nutritionally, but also to lead them to the Lord. A lot of people have lost their way, and we are really pleased to do that. And we're also a part of the Liturgical Dance